We're rolling.
Today we're talking about trauma. Dun, dun, dun.
I don't have trauma.
We have a lot of that.
Don't clap.
Oh.
It's terrifying. Okay?
Tomato.
We're continuing to take a break from our historical figures. We'll get back to that after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
We're going to watch a video from the 1960s
Today?
of
No, tomorrow.
therapy happening with 3 historical characters. We're going to watch them all do counseling with this one poor lady. And we're going to analyze these historical characters and how they're doing their counseling. That's coming up after Thanksgiving break. But for today, we're talking about trauma. And there's a lot of confusion about what this means. Some people, they ask for Chick-fil-A sauce and they get ranch and they say, well, that was traumatic. Okay, it's not. It's not, though. That's called sad, but it's not traumatic. Other people, they've been like horribly abused and you're like, you got traumatized, and they're like, no.
It's fine.
Okay, so let's clarify what it is. We all have it. It's not just getting the wrong order at Chick-fil-A. It's something that happens that is too big for your brain to handle. It's too big for your brain to file it away.
Getting the wrong sauce at Chick-fil-A.
No. Getting the wrong order at Chick-fil-A, it stinks, it's sad, it's a bummer, but at the end of the day, your brain can file that and put it in the past and say, all right, tough day, rough day out there, the world's hard. Trauma is something that's so big that when your head hits the pillow that night, your brain still hasn't figured out what to do with it. Picture a file cabinet, one of those old school heavy file cabinets that no one should ever buy because the interior design aesthetic is just unrecoverable.
2.
Irrecoverable. You have 2.
It's
And they're
only
very
a
heavy and hard to move and they scratch the floor.
Yeah.
But if you get a file that's too big and you try to jam it in there, the drawer won't close all the way. And you can kick it and push it and scream all you want, like Baby Rose trying to close a cabinet door. But it's not going to close. And that means the next morning when you wake up, the memories from that file are leaking into your present life. And this can continue happening for years. Imagine somebody's abused, and years later, that same file that never got closed is still impacting their life. They're waking up with a little more stress, a little more anxiety. It's not always that you're thinking of that event from years ago, but you're living in the wordless story your body tells. You're living in the ripples of that event. Okay? What is trauma? It's something that happens that's too big for your brain to file away. The problem is whenever something really overwhelming happens, it casts you to the side as a side character. You want Olivia to hold it?
No, it's good. It's good.
You're going to take notes and video at the same time?
I can do both.
Olivia can hold it.
I can hold it.
No, I want a video, man.
Set it up on the
Trauma casts you to the side as a side character. You become a side character in some like tragic story. Other things get center stage. All right, so imagine that you go in to talk with a teacher and that teacher's really mean. That could be traumatic. That could rise to that level of too big to file away. But you're not going to feel like the main character. You're not going to feel in control. You're feeling more like strapped in along for the ride, and it's a bumpy one. All right? When you get cast as a side character in your own story, the next thing that happens is you shrink what happened to you. If you don't feel like the main character, you feel like a side character, you're going to shrink the feelings of that side character. Right? Movies don't really elaborate on, and how are things going for Sally over there, the best friend? You know, the third wheel, the tag along. And so your feelings get shrunk. And then you move away and you try to say things like, that was a little hard, but it's fine. That was rough, but I'm good. That shouldn't have happened, but it's okay. Do you hear that minimizing, shrinking? When really it was so overwhelming that it pushed you to the side, and because you were pushed on the side, then you're not able to really emphasize all the emotionality that you felt. Now, because you have tried to call the event normal, small enough, okay, fine, you put it on the continuum of normalcy in your life. You put it in the category of normal stuff in your life. But that's a huge problem, because now your body is stuck thinking, this might happen again. This is a normal thing to happen. This is an okay thing that could happen any day. Again, could happen to me again. And how does the body respond to that? With stress. With stress. Yeah. Okay, so imagine that you have, this was just yesterday, I was counseling with this girl who's your age, she's a teenager, and she had a lot of tough medical stuff back when she was 10. So she was in and out of the hospital, lots of like tests and scans and stuff like that. And then she tried to say, but it's fine. Well, now the message that she's living with is, my body is against me, doesn't work right, and the hospital couldn't really give her good answers, one of those situations. And so there are no solutions for problems. Those are two messages, and she's living in those stories. So her body's just carrying stress and anxiety every single day. Okay, what we worked on yesterday is, let's retell that story. And so she went back and told it, but with her as the main character. And so instead of saying, you know, the guy at the hospital, he was trying his best, but he stabbed me with this needle and missed the vein and it left a scar. But he was trying his best. No, instead of that, she said, from my POV, it was terrifying. I didn't know what was going on. He missed my vein. He should have asked for help. He didn't ask for help. He left a scar on my arm. Nobody made this right or apologized afterwards. Okay, you hear her no longer minimizing it. She's telling it in all of its terror. Now, this probably made her feel pretty bad yesterday. Yeah? Sometimes going back through a traumatic story, it brings up old feelings, it dusts things up. It's like shaking a snow globe. Everything's flying around. It feels bad. But what we were able to do is say that wasn't normal and that wasn't okay. And that pushes the story out of the normal category and says that's an aberration. That's a cataclysmic exception, shouldn't have happened. It's not normal. Now her body is able to differentiate or separate from those messages. Like, my body is against me. There are no solutions to problems. The medical field is just like bumbling in the dark and can't really do anything to fix it. She's able to get away from those messages that she was living in because she said that story was awful, terrible, evil, traumatic. So that's the key, actually, to healing from trauma, is going back and risking all the stress of reliving the situation in order to appropriately recast yourself as the main character in your own story with proportionately weighted emotions, the real emotions you were experiencing at the time. Terrible, overwhelming, debilitating. I felt frozen like a deer in the headlights. That's the only way that you can actually separate yourself from the messaging, the stories that you were, whether you know it or not, living in every day, holding with your body. Let's cut it right there, AC.
Mm-hmm.